Hello and welcome to Ruckus UK. So, let's start this episode off with saying Happy New Year to everybody. I hope 2022 brings you all the good health and fortune that you want. Unfortunately, my family, we're all in lockdown. We've unfortunately been hit by good old Rona, so we are isolating. I'm literally just out the front of my house in my garage here, so no one's coming in or out, so it's just me and you. So in today's episode, let's talk GY6 and turbos. So as you know, the white Ruckus, we did a bit of an experiment and we slapped a turbocharger on it and did a draw through system. So the turbo would sit here, carburetor, and it sucks the mixed fuel and air and then pressurizes it and puts it into the engine. Works reasonably well. However, it's not the performance you would expect from a GY6 that's been tuned nicely. So this leads on to, well, what am I going to do now? I'm going to actually remove the turbo and the header pipe and take the whole system off and put it to one side whilst I come up with some new ideas. I'm also been pinging some information backwards and forwards with Matt from Rolling Wrench, as he's been looking into EFI systems, which I think personally is the way to go. The carburetor, just, you can't tune it in a way of like rising rate, so basically your throttle or your wrist is the AFR gauge. You are constantly having to come on and off the throttle to match the revs as you come up with the amount of fuel and pressure that's going into the engine. So it's just not practical to ride every day. It's okay for a show, it's okay for going out for a cruise, but you can't guarantee that that engine is going to be running a decent AFR. So if you don't know, AFR is air to fuel ratio. So what I'm going to end up doing is we'll take the bike, put it down, and we'll just go through the setup and talk about a few things, and then we'll change the exhaust over to a hot lap exhaust, which I've procured through the workshop, and also we'll put the carburetor that's on it, we'll move that into the correct position, which is obviously going straight into the head. So let's crack on with some work. Right, so as you can see here, we have I think it's a VZ or a ZVH or something like that. It's 21, which is an RHB 21 or 31 turbo. It's the smallest production turbo that you can get at the moment, which makes it, I wouldn't say ideal, but makes it suitable for this application all the way up to like a 600cc motorbike. So as you can see here, we've got the carburetor and it's sucking the mixtured air and fuel into the compressor. That's building up boost pressure, following along, and then going into the head. So this has all been fabricated by me, especially the header pipe. I had some stainless steel flanges made because I didn't want to do the mild steel ones that you can get off of like Amazon and stuff like that. So I had these water jet cut and finished. Just had to do some minor little tweaks and stuff, like obviously I had this flange made and designed. Some of the hole positions were a little bit off, so we had to sort that out. And then I just got this pipe. It's supposed to be an aquapovic, but it's not. It's just a flared pipe really, off of eBay or Amazon or something like that. And I'm actually using like an oil cooler kit for the feed and the return lines. It does flow because I've made this little bit of clear tube so I could see the flow going, so it does work, and it does work on the bike. However, like I've said before, as you snap on and off the throttle, you're basically this is the AFR gauge for the system. It's not ideal. Now, what I am finding is if you shut off as you're riding along, let's say you're doing like 50 mile an hour, 60 mile an hour, whatever, and you're riding along, even 40 mile an hour, and you shut the throttle off. So as you know, if you guys use a flat slide, the shutter comes down, and what I'm actually experiencing is vacuum in this side. So you're building up a vacuum pressure rather than like a boost pressure. Well, actually you don't have boost pressure here, but you're creating this larger amount of vacuum, and it's actually pulling oil from the bearings in here into this side, which is then creating smoke. So you could be going along, you come off the throttle, and all of a sudden you see this like bellow of white smoke coming out. Once you go back on the throttle, it's cleared and gone, but that's obviously not good. So I've put it down to, and after speaking to a few people, that basically having the shut off here is creating a vacuum which is sucking a bit of the oil out, and as we know, oil, once it combusts, creates a shit ton of smoke. So it's also quite cool though, but if you do come back on the throttle and you get it right, you get like a 6-foot flame pop out, but it makes your tyres a little bit tarnished. So what we're going to end up doing is I'm going to drop all the oil out, I'm going to take all this kit off. The carburetor can basically stay connected, we're just going to move it to the correct position there, and then I'm going to put this hot lap exhaust on. Mainly so that my wife can use the bike. She wants to use this bike next year, or sorry, this year, because we're in 2022 now. She wants to use this bike at some of the shows and actually enjoy it, and I want her to enjoy it, and we can go out together and it will be reliable and some good fun. That's not to say the turbo kit will come back, it's just we're going to put it on the shelf for a little while because I've got customer bikes to do, and I've also got some projects in the work that I want to do. So yeah, let's crack to it. So now that we've taken the header pipe off and the turbo and the oil feed and return lines, and also this little adapter, I've got a brand new oil and filter and spring washer and that to go back up in the bottom of there, and then we can fill it back up with oil and put the nice new exhaust on. We'll take this this section off afterwards once I've removed the seat frame. Alright, so now that we've got the messy bit done, we'll put the new drain plug in. We filled it up with Castrol Powerbomb 10W40 4T. I use between sort of like 800, around between 750 and 850, depends on how much oil you've had in it before, what oil you've had in it before. To be honest, this GY6, it spits it out if it doesn't want too much anyway, but I have put 800 in this one, which will be enough for this because it had some residual oil in it anyway. Plus you lose a bit when you're doing it, you see there's a little puddle, so all good. We'll get the exhaust on next, and then we can focus on this end if I've got the hardware. I don't know if I've got the hardware, but I can always order it and we can come back to the video anyway. So let's get the exhaust on first. Well, I'll do a tidy up because I'm a absolute mess when I work. So let's get this tidied up and we can get the exhaust on. So with regards to the exhaust, we have the lovely hot lap, I can't remember what it's called now, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Murasaki. Oh, whatever, I'm not even going to try. But there it is. Comes with fit instructions to fit it, but it is a very straightforward exhaust. It comes in 3 pieces. You have your hardware, so you've got your springs and your bolts and washers and stuff like that you're going to need. Your hanger, which sits a little bit different to usual. Oh, sorry. It sits there, so it actually uses one of the cowling bolts, and this engine bolt here sits there and holds the exhaust, and you have it comes up and follows nicely up here. So it comes in 3 pieces, pretty straightforward. Let's slap it on. Okay, so just wanted to clarify something. It's this hole, or this hole here, and this one here, and it literally goes like that. Okay, and you get all the supplied hardware. So you take this 8mm out, and you get that one that goes in there, and then this one that goes in that section. So I'll get that on and I'll show you. So there we have it. That one's in, which is a 5mm Allen key, and this one is a 6mm Allen key, so it sits like that. It's got like a metal washer here. It's a rubber bung with almost like a tube that goes through it, but that's how that's going to sit. Basically the rest of it is nut and bolt that goes through here, and the exhaust sort of muffler slides down onto it. It's pretty cool. Now, apologies for the light, it's getting a little bit dark outside. So once you've got your header pipe, or the first section, bolted up and it's secure, I mean, you can have it loose, it's totally up to you, but I find because this is in 3 pieces, it goes together so easy. Now you can see the little spring hanger there, and then you literally get your second piece, pretty obvious because of the bung on the top, and you literally give it a little wiggle, slot it in. It's got like a little ridge here anyway, so it can only go in so far. Make sure it's sort of lined up, and then just pull your spring across, and that's pretty much that's done. And then we come on to the final section. So I've just slotted this on. You literally, you can see the keyway there. Let me see if I can. So where the bolt would be hanging out and your nuts on this side, you literally have it loose enough that you can slot it in, and it slots straight down onto here. Like I said, because these two are loose anyway and they can move around, you can literally just wobble it on, and then you put your bottom spring on, your top spring on, and then just tighten this back nut, and that's the hot lap exhaust on, and it does sit very pretty. It's a nice exhaust. Just going to take this out, take the DB killer out, and then we'll be getting onto the carburetor. However, I'm not going to do that in this video because I'm running out of light. It's like pitch black outside. So there we have it. She's coming together. Turn her into a reliable sort of daily, really. So we'll do the carburetor in the next episode. Also, some more episodes for you guys, so I don't want this one being too long. So let's close out the video. Right, just a quick one. So undo the nut and pull this out. This is your DB killer, and that's it. And then you get a nicer, cleaner, crisper exhaust note. It's not a loud exhaust, which is what I like, but at least you get a nice crisper note now, and we can do away with that. Anyway, right, let's close out this video, part 2. Okay, so just a recap. We took the turbo off, we took the manifold off, we also took all the feed lines off, we did an oil change, put a new oil drain plug in. From there we went and put the hot lap exhaust on, and that's sitting on there nice and pretty now. So in the next video we will put on the carburetor and basically tune it up and get it running so that we can enjoy that bike
have a bit of fun on it. The wife can ride it. I got Black Betty right here that I'm sitting on right now. That's the one I like to ride. She's just my go-to bike. However, there is some more things planned for the Turbo Ruckus. So I've had a stretch bar made, which is a bit longer. Really, because I want to push that engine out just a little bit more, give it a bit more stance. So we'll see how it sits, see how the engine sits, whether it's worth it or not. So plenty more videos to come, so thank you very much for watching. Okay, so if you like the video, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see all you guys in the next video.